Hey folks, today we're going to talk about site update plans. So what are site update plans? Site update plans are used to update files and customer sites for SaaS projects where WordPress is used as the foundation. They can also be used to update other elements of the customer sites by using extension hooks to write update routines. And custom update routines are really routines that you would use to update databases, configuration files, import additional data, and so on. As you might already know, there are 3 deployment architectures you can use to build a SaaS on WordPress. You have WordPress multi-site, you have multi-tenant WordPress, and you have individual WordPress sites. You can build a SaaS on WordPress using any of these 3 architectures. Site update plans apply to SaaSes that are built around standard WordPress sites. They do not work on SaaSes built on multi-site or multi-tenancy. In fact, multi-tenant sites in WP Cloud Deploy have their own update mechanism that includes strict version control and integration with Git. So to reiterate, site update plans only apply to standard WordPress sites, not multi-tenant sites and not WordPress multi-site. So what are we really doing with site update plans? Site update plans allow you to push updated files from your template sites to your customer sites. If you've been around WordPress for a while, that might sound suspiciously like something such as main WP or manage WP. However, site update plans include additional functionality that are specific to WordPress SaaSes. So having said all that, let's take a look at what a site update plan might look like. As you can see from this list, you can have as many site update plans as you like. So let's drill into one of them. We'll click on Update Free Plans and see what's in there. When you set up an update plan, the first thing you have to decide is which sites are you going to be updating. You can select any combination of servers, server groups, and site groups. This is a simple but very powerful feature because it allows you to control how fast you roll out updates to your customer sites. You can select to roll out updates to just a subset of sites, for example, to just one server, or to a small group of infrequently used sites that you have tagged for early updates. The ability to do controlled updates like this is huge, even if only for your peace of mind. The next section is about managing group tags on the sites you're updating. When a site is updated, you can apply or remove group tags. You can, for example, create a group with a version number and then apply it to sites that will be affected by this update. When you then look at the site list, the group label will be under the groups column so you can quickly see which sites have been updated. You can also remove groups. Using the same example, you'll be able to remove groups that show an old version label from the affected sites. When a site is updated by a plan, you can activate new plugins or deactivate existing ones. So if you add a plugin to your template site, when you push the new files to your existing customer sites, you can have the plan automatically enable the new plugins on the affected sites. The next section is about excluding files and folders. When you work on your template sites, you tend to accumulate some things that are needed while you're developing, but not needed on the final customer sites. So you can choose to exclude those things. You can choose to back up the affected sites before updating them. This is one of those options that seem great in theory, but that can come back and bite you. To start, it takes far longer to update a site. And if you have your backups configured to be stored locally, you can easily run out of disk space on a server. The next section is about updating configuration entries in your site's wp-config.php file. If your template have new plugins, themes, or functions, you might need new entries in wp-config on your customer sites. This section allows you to add those. You can also use this section to update existing wp-config entries. For example, you might have pushed a wp-config value for the version of your site so you will not now need to update it. The site meta section allows you to update the site metas associated with WP Cloud Deploy site records. For example, you might want to store a value for the last update date and another value for a version number. The WP Options section allows you to update or create option values on the sites being updated. So for example, if you added a plugin to the template site, you can use this to add a license key if the license key for that plugin is stored in an option. The miscellaneous section contains options that don't fit neatly anywhere else. When we push updated files, we usually reset permissions to the WP Cloud Deploy defaults. You can choose not to do so. Logtivity is a centralized login service and records various WordPress actions, user logins, plugin installs, plugin deactivations and activations, etc. If you haven't installed it before on a customer site, you can use an update plan to get it installed and activated. Bash scripts are run after a site has been updated. You also have the option to run one before a site is updated, but most often you'll end up using a script to run after a site's been updated. You can use these scripts to update databases, pull down new files that we don't handle inside of an update plan, and a bunch of other things. So at this point, you probably have a pretty good idea what you can do inside of an update plan. So your next question is probably, how do you actually execute a plan? You execute a plan on the template site. So when you go to the template site, you simply click under the Copy to Existing Site option, scroll to the very bottom, and there you'll see the option to execute an update plan. You actually have two buttons here, to execute it right away or to do a dry run. The dry run shows you which servers and sites are going to be affected. So if we grab an update plan, in this case, I think we were working with the free plan earlier. Yeah. So let's pick the free plan and click on dry run. You can see that you now have the dry run results. This is showing that you're going to be affecting 2 servers, and you're going to be affecting 5 sites on those servers. And then down below that, you have a breakdown on a server-by-server basis. On the first server, you'll be affecting 2 sites, and on the second server, you'll be affecting 3 sites. So let's go ahead and actually execute this plan. We're going to choose the plan again, and this time we're going to click Execute. You're probably wondering what happened there. What's been done is we've taken those 5 sites and we've added them as pending tasks inside of our pending tasks screen. But there's an easier way to keep track of this stuff, and that's under the Site Update Plan History option. So let's pull that up. In here you can see you've got a new record for the request we just submitted. It's going to affect 2 servers and 5 sites on those servers. We've only completed 0 servers and 0 sites. So basically we're just waiting for this thing to complete. I'm going to go ahead and pause the video a little bit so that we get a couple of sites completed, and then I'm going to refresh the screen for you. Alright, we're back, and as you can see, I've refreshed the screen and we've pushed files to 2 servers and completed 1 site. Let me refresh the screen again and see if that updates. Yeah, we've got 2 servers and 5 sites completed. If I click into that, you can see that here's the plan, and here's the servers that are completed and the sites completed. Okay, At this point, I think that's a wrap. If you have questions, use the contact form on our site or send an email to contact@wpclouddeploy.com.